Hello, everyone. As we continue this course on the implications of misuse and cybersecurity, today we'll be looking at the impact of IT in the workplace. In this digital age, whether we are running a small business or working in a large organization, using IT devices can make tasks faster and easier. In addition, there are numerous examples of how information systems play an increasingly important part in our lives, from programmable televisions and remote control devices to e commerce using the internet. It is important, therefore, to be aware of and be able to discuss the following effects of computers. First, let us look at the social impact of IT in the workplace. 1. Less social contact among employees. Because most tasks can easily be done on a computer, this can limit the interaction between employees, even when there is collaboration on a task. Because of the advancement of computers, collaboration can easily be done right on the computer with no physical contact with any employee. 2. A large increase in the use of computer games, which can lead to time wasting, no social contact, being addictive, and even though some are educational. So, even though some games can be beneficial to our learning, when we do not limit the time and place of playing such games, it can affect how much work we put in, even limiting our association with friends and family. 3. It may become easier to keep in touch with people with email and social media. A major benefit of IT is that it can bridge the gap between countries. Now, we can easily communicate with friends and family and even our work anywhere in the world. 4. Privacy concerns. How secure is personal data? So, as we learned in the previous video, we all have important data that we want to protect from it being damaged or stolen. Next, let's look at how IT affects our work patterns. 1. The internet and WANs have allowed employees to work from home. Today, persons do not have to go into the office in order to work. They can simply stay at home and do all the necessary work from home and send the completed work via the internet to the office. 2. Advantages include flexible hours, a more relaxed atmosphere, and no commuting. Because of being able to work from home, a person now is more relaxed and can work when they feel more motivated. 3. Disadvantages are a lack of social contact and possible disruptions or distractions. So, because of not having a dedicated workspace, it is easier to be distracted by the things in the environment, alongside having internet issues which can cause disruption to your work. 4. Advantage the company includes no need to provide office space, heating, refreshments, and so on. Here, the business cuts down on a lot of employee costs and which are offset now to the employee. Next, let's look at how IT can create a cashless society. First, workers are automatically paid by electronic funds transfer into their bank accounts. So no longer do workers have to physically go to the office to collect their payments. Second, credit and debit cards are used more for payments. This causes transactions to be done faster and easier without the use of physical money. 3. Main advantage is no need to carry cash. Since the debit card or the credit card interfaces with the money in the bank, you just need to use that single card. And fourth, disadvantage is the possibility of fraud or lost or stolen cards. It is now far easier for persons to gain access into our bank accounts and misuse our money, and even a stolen card can cause distress since it affects our access to our money. Next, let's see how IT affects employment. 1. Practical skill jobs on the decline. So, because IT is making tasks simpler and easier, it can cause certain jobs to be replaced by IT devices. 2. Possible redundancies if a more efficient IT based system replaces workers. 3. New jobs created in IT related fields such as programmers, system analysts, and even robot maintenance. 4. Workers need to be retrained, especially if the task requires a special skill. Every time a new employee is hired, they now have to be trained in order to how to use the system. And lastly, let us look at how IT affects our health and safety. 1. Attention needs to be paid to posture problems from sitting for long periods at a computer, since bad posture can affect our body. 2. Radiation hazards from monitors and eye strain. Because we have to work on a computer, we tend to work long hours staring at the monitor, which is actually straining our eyes. And 3. Repetitive strain injury, RSI, which is caused by lengthy and improper use of computers. Now, let us look at some other changes in the workplace that are caused by IT. The ICT revolution has brought about widespread changes in the workplace. Most offices now use computer systems, often connected by a LAN or WAN. Thus, most offices will therefore have their networks connected using cables or with wireless technology. Applications such as word processors, databases, and email, and mobile telephones are used by millions of people every day. Video conferencing via WAN and the internet enables meetings to take place without the participants having to leave their offices. So, even though computers are used in many economic sectors, as the need for managing information becomes more important in these areas, the downside is that employees are required to become more skilled in the use of information technology to perform their duties. The skilled use of hardware and software is necessary for most occupations that involve information collection, processing, and distribution. So it is important to note that the more we become reliant on information technology to make tasks easier and simpler, the more skilled future employees will have to become. Next, let us look at some side effects of IT in the workplace, loss of jobs, and retraining. Computers are now being used for jobs that were previously done by people. For example, as more customers buy products online, staff in stores may be reduced. The use of email may replace the purchase of stamps and delivery of mail, but on the other hand, there could be an increase in the delivery of products that were purchased online. Work that has been lost includes 1. Repetitive jobs, such as telephone operators who direct calls to office extensions. 2. Dangerous jobs, such as defusing bombs or working in areas with extreme heat or cold. 3. Office jobs that can be automated or take less time using ICT skills. For example, typing or retyping documents that can be saved and edited for future use. So, because of IT or information technology, most jobs now require ICT skills, and so, for many people, retraining is necessary to remain in the workforce. Learning to use a computer and typing quickly are among the more important aspects of retraining. Some people even take short courses or learn new on the job skills to remain marketable. IT skills help to keep funds in the business since completing jobs in house using IT saves the money it would cost to outsource them. Next, we'll be looking at some jobs IT has created. One kind is telecommuting. Because of IT, work can now be accessed by employees in their location instead of by the more traditional method of traveling to work. Millions of people, known as telecommuters, teleworkers, or remote workers, now work on a full time or part time basis at home or move around the world using a computer or mobile device to communicate with their employers or clients. For businesses, this has the advantage of reducing office space with less electricity or air condition usage. But the disadvantage is that telecommuters must also face higher utility bills if they are working from their homes. Some businesses may even compensate their employees for this added expense. However, telecommuting can be isolating for the employee, as one of the more enjoyable aspects of a job in an office is often socializing with other people. Distractions in the home environment may also reduce productivity. Next, let us look at some social concerns of IT in the workplace. Because of the widespread use of information systems, this has led to more efficient ways of working and to a decrease in the hours that many people have to work. With the advantage of allowing more time for people to spend on leisure pursuits, and without a second thought, this has caused millions of people to use personal computers, mobile devices, and information system devices such as voice recorders more often. The growth of telecommunications, including the internet, has led to a situation where people can share information in a global village. Distance is no longer an issue, with people communicating as if they were living closely together in a small village. However, there is a disagreement about the effects on young people of spending a long time using computers and playing computer games. Even though some games can be beneficial, some people argue that prolonged use makes youngsters withdrawn and less likely to socialize with others, whereas others argue that playing games can develop problem solving skills and encourage collaboration and teamwork. So, IT can affect our social interaction with others. Next, we'll look at some of the health concerns of IT in the workplace. Millions of people use computers regularly for work, education, and leisure. As with any other equipment, computers should be used safely and in a way that doesn't harm users' health. This is important as there is evidence that using a computer for a long time and not properly using computer equipment or furniture can affect your health and result in injury. Some examples of this injury can include headache, shoulder pain, back pain, and even neck pain. One example of injury is repetitive strain injury. When we feel aches and pains, swelling, and difficulty of movement, these are all symptoms of disorders affecting fingers, wrists, arms, and neck that can be caused by lengthy or improper use of computers. The common name for these disorders is repetitive strain injury, or RSI. RSI can be extremely painful and is caused by long and regular periods of typing or using the mouse or even poor workstation setup. For example, not resting our back completely upright on the chair can give us back problems. So, what can be done to stop RSI? Well, the first thing we can do is take regular breaks from the computer or change activity. Short breaks of 5 to 10 minutes every hour is recommended. 2. Place the mouse immediately to the left or right of the keyboard. 3. Hold the mouse loosely and don't use the mouse continuously for long periods. 4. Use wrist and or arm rests. 5. Arrange your desk so that your keyboard is easy to use, tilted, and separate from the screen. 6. Make sure that there is enough space in front of the keyboard to rest your arms and hand. 7. During regular breaks, stretch and move your hands, wrists, and neck as a form of exercise. And 8. Relax, since RSI can be caused by tension. So, in review, to help stop RSI, while it is good to have good posture, it is also good to take frequent breaks with stretches. Next, let us look at how IT in the workplace can cause back problems. Back problems can be caused by poor or incorrect posture when using furniture or equipment. So, what can be done to stop back problems? Well, one, we can use a chair that is adjustable in height and able to swivel and that has a tilting backrest. 2. Make sure that the chair is at the correct height for you to use the keyboard and screen. 3. Sit in a comfortable position and regularly change the way you sit. Consider your posture. 4. Use a desk large enough to take all the computer equipment. And 5. Take frequent short breaks and stand up or walk around. Next, let us look at how IT in the workplace can cause eye problems. Eye strain is the most common health problem linked to using computer screens for long periods. Eye problems are also linked to poor lighting, glare, and being too close to or even too far from the screen. The size of fonts and colors used in software can also affect the eyes. So, what can be done to stop eye problems? Well, our computer screens should 1. Not flicker, 2. Have brightness and contrast settings that can be easily changed, 3. Our screens should be able to tilt and swivel as needed, and 4. It should be positioned to avoid glare and reflections from lights or windows and be fitted with glare reduction filters. Now let us see how IT in the workplace can cause stress. Using computers or having your work monitored by computers can be stressful. Also, by using modern communication technologies such as emails, portable notebook computers, and mobile phones, which allows us to communicate with persons much faster, this means that some people cannot take proper breaks as they can always be contacted immediately, which can be stressful. Next, let us see how IT in the workplace has caused environmental concerns. The widespread adoption of information systems has also had environmental effects. On the one hand, the need to power millions of computers has increased electricity consumption, while on the other hand, the consumption of electricity and other forms of energy has been reduced as computers carefully control air conditioning and heating systems. Information systems have enabled teleworking from home. This can mean less travel to and from work and therefore a reduction in traffic pollution. Although the age of the truly paperless office is some years away, there has already been some saving on the use of paper and therefore trees, as data is communicated and stored digitally. Next, let's look at the legal, ethical, and moral effects of IT in the workplace. The legal, ethical, and moral effects of information systems will continue to be an area of concern to users. A great deal of personal information is held on our computers, like our photos and our documents. The Data Protection Act tries to ensure that personal information is held and processed responsibly. Laws have also been passed to try to stop hacking and the pirating or stealing of software. All of this raises some important ethical and moral issues, such as the following. 1. How far should the law go in giving government officers, such as the police, access to everyone's personal information or emails in order to fight crimes? So, yes, we all have personal information, but how much of these information can those in authority be allowed to see to fight crime? 2. How far should established and new technologies, such as closed circuit television and microchip smart cards, be used to monitor people's activities? Are you comfortable knowing that your every action is monitored and recorded? 3. What will happen to people who cannot afford to buy or gain access to a computer system? Today, almost everything is making use of some digital computerized device. So, how will a person who cannot afford these devices make use of these services? Next, let us review some of the IT skills that are needed in the workplace. So, today, for office workers, some skills that are needed include word processing and document preparation, budgeting. For example, they need to be able to prepare financial statements and invoices. Communications. They need to be able to how to use a fax machine, a email, a forum, or a news group. When it comes to teachers, they need to be able to handle word processing, spreadsheet manipulation, database management, even preparing presentations. They need to know how to use the network, even access and use school land resources. They also need to learn how to operate hardware, such as computer systems, peripherals like printers, scanners, multimedia projectors, even installing or basic troubleshooting of hardware and software devices. Engineers today, they need to know software programming, the ability to design, test, and implement new software. They need to know how to install hardware and software. They need to be able to manipulate peripherals such as sensors, controllers, and graphics tablets. Even knowing how to use communication systems such as LAN, WAN, and the internet. When it comes to medical personnel, they also need to know word processing, even document processing, expert system constellation, such as examining references for surgical procedures, maintaining inventory for medical supplies. They need to prepare budgets, medical bills, insurance claims, manipulate hardware, patient monitoring, and imaging systems. For example, the ultrasound machine, the MRI, the CAT scan technology. Conducting teleconference and meetings among doctors in different locations. Even musicians today use notation software for composing music and preparing lyrics. They use MIDI, music instrument digital interface hardware, to produce music and interface with computer systems to add instrument sounds and special effects. They store and retrieve music tracks from optical storage media. When it comes to mass media personnel, they also need to have word processing skills. They need to be able to prepare articles, news scripts, database searches, and information retrieval, such as searching for past articles, news articles from other countries. They need to be able to use communication means such as email, fax, forums, and news groups. They need to be able to use hardware and software for film, sound editing before going to the final press. Even law enforcement personnel, they need to be able to use word processing, document preparation, so that they can prepare case reports, letters, and so on. They need to do database searches so that they can access records they have kept on known offenders. Even the movie industry personnel, they would need to know word processing and document preparation so that they can prepare movie scripts. They need to also know how to create animations because some movies are made with the use of computer graphics and animation for some scenes. They need to know accounting and budgeting software so as to create costs and income estimates for the movies. So, in review, every workplace is becoming more digital. More and more workplaces are making use of computerized devices to make tasks easier and faster. But at the same time, employees need to ensure they attain the necessary skills so that they can be efficient and effective. This has brought us to the end of the impacts of IT in the workplace, and I would like to thank you for viewing.